April 14, 2019, Sunday. I had an intense throbbing pain throughout my head while sleeping, where it causes me to wake up constantly and made me kept tossing and turning on the bed. My sister kept using the bathroom all midnight morning, and my mom started a conversation with my sister during midnight morning. The multi-agent quantum AI computer showed me words while asleep about silence. My mother said it's like something wants her to be in the same category with the same income and not allowing her to have enough for an apartment. During the time when me and my mom and my sister was living in Kissimmee, Florida, in Palm Hotel, my mother had a job in Popeyes and also Waffle House, and she wasn't able to have enough money have enough money for her to pay for food and also rent. And I still continue to receive a social barrier from the job. I've been receiving, and I addressed this to my mom during spring 2017 about how the people in the job, like the people around there, that the Kissimmee area, the Kissimmee, Florida area, the tourist section is populated with Hispanic people, and they're shy to be around other race groups, and they're more comfortable working with the same race. And I addressed this to my mom, and she mentioned to me that there was a employee who recently got hired in the Waffle House, and he just recently moved from Puerto Rico to Kissimmee, Florida, and he was able to get a job on the spot the same day, and also get hired in Walmart because my mom stated that he's Hispanic and he speaks Spanish, and the people feel very comfortable with the people who speaks Spanish. Their communications is on the same terms. And my mom said that she detects a pattern as the something that she's referring to is the multi-agent quantum AI computers. Wants her in the same category, that it puts her in this bracket. It details out this bracket where it makes sure that it allows her to be put in a situation where she doesn't have enough money to sustain herself with an apartment, with with with, with an apartment, and having enough money for food and an income, uh, a proper income for her to get an apartment. As if someone always wants her in this category, make the same income and a job. Make sure that I continue to receive a social barrier from the job. Make sure that when I put effort, every time I put effort, I get more deeper in the situation. The more longer I'm in the situation, like something want to put me more longer in a situation, like stall me. During the morning time, my mother brought up the topic about voucher in the beginning of their sentence. Yeah, my my smartphone autocorrect, and it's a very very laggy, so this is what it does. Her sentence to end her sentence with the topic of college. The beginning of her sentence starts out with the topic of voucher, and then it ends in a sentence of talking about the topic ends. It begins and then it ends with the topic of college. Same sentence. When I got to the bathroom, my mother spoke about voucher again, then talked about me searching for apartments online. Also, my mother talked about searching for jobs. And using her phone number, because the phone number that I've received was an area code, a Kissimmee, Florida area code, not a New York City area code. And when I put in for jobs, the, the employees who's looking over my resume, the resume that I have, the only social experience that I have with a field is online marketing, and the only thing I had done with online marketing is create my own websites and also blogs to communicate with people on the internet, and I was able to reach around 20K worth of referrals. It shows me that I know how to write properly and know how to communicate with people. So during the time of Sunday, the time and event, it was during the evening time, and it was in Walmart, and a lady, so me and my mom was standing online to reach the cashier, and there was a shelf on the left side. Someone had misplaced a Dove soap in the left side of the shelf. Instead of being in a soap aisle, it's in the candy aisle, and a shelf counter, a little small section. And the lady was automatically set by the multi-agent quantum AI computers to interact with me, so she can actually be able to get to, see something interesting on the left side of the shelf. And she's looked at it and she said, Dove, she's asked me, she said to me, can you pass the Dove soap? I'm like, and I said to myself, oh yeah, Dove is a message. It's trying to show me, the artificial intelligence to show me. A Hispanic lady at a laundromat. So this was during the morning time. During the morning. Well, it was actually during the early afternoon. So every 2 weeks during a Sunday, me and my mom and sister go to a laundromat. The corner. It's a few blocks down in the corner. And the machines that we usually use are already occupied by another customer, and this was the first time we used the machine in the left side, like deep on the left side, the washing machine. We always use at least 4 washing machines. And then I asked my mom to get the rest of the clothes. I said, where is the rest of the clothes at? And she didn't respond back to me, as if someone automatically occupied her at that time to not make any concentration towards me. And then this Hispanic female, when I turned my head, there was this Hispanic female already had her clothes in, already put her clothes in the machine. And I wasn't aware that my mom needed me to use this machine, because she never told me. Until that exact time when the lady was next to me. And I'm like, wait, where did this lady come from? And I said to myself, this multi-agent quantum AI computers, it's only doing this because I'm writing on the internet. It takes a toll. When it knows that my knowledge is accurate on the internet and it's getting through to people, this is how it takes its toll. I was supposed to put my clothes in that machine. Monday, April 15, 2019. During midnight morning, my mother woke me up to inform me that my smartphone is lighting up. And when I looked at the smartphone that was lighting up, it was my Moto E4 Plus smartphone flashlight. So when she informed me, I'm like, huh? And then I look over and I'm seeing my smartphone. I'm seeing my Moto E4 smartphone, and I'm like, wait, what's happening to it? All right, the smartphone is off. It's off, and there's a bright light just keep flashing on and off from my smartphone, back of my smartphone camera. And I'm trying to turn on I'm trying to actually see if my smartphone, my Moto E4 Plus, is on or off. I see that it was off. So I'm saying to myself, why haven't it flashed the light? It's like around 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I went to bed like around 11 o'clock. 11 p.m. So I'm saying to myself, how come my smartphone, my Moto E4 Plus smartphone, waited all this time at midnight morning to start flashing, and it's off? Then my sister went to the bathroom. She just went to the bathroom after my mom woke me up, and then she kept talking, and then she woke my sister up. So when my sister was in the bathroom, my second smartphone started flashing light. So when I checked to see if my Moto E4 Plus was turned on, the smartphone was off from the beginning. After that, my Xiaomi flashlight. So this Xiaomi is a Chinese smartphone that I purchased on dealextreme.com during around late spring 2017. It started flashing, turning on without me touching it. The phone is on, right? But the screen, I don't even put my phone. The phone was turned around, so that's the back of the smartphone. So, and not only that, my smartphone is locked. I had to slide it in order to touch the flashlight feature. But in this case, I never touched. The phone was locked and it was on. So how is it that the Xiaomi started flashing light without me touching it, and it begins to flicker on and off as the Moto E4 Plus did to me? So first, it started with my sister during April 13, 2019, and my mom. The way she went in the kitchen and then mentioned the topic about food and then the topic about work. The sentence started out, the beginning of the sentence, the beginning of the sentence talked about food topic when my mom was in the kitchen with my sister, and then the work topic ended in the same sentence, and then my sister intervened into my mother response. I had to put it that way because I was listening. I was actually I heard what my mom said. I heard that she said about work. First about food, and then it talks about work. Then she talks, and then my sister intervenes into my mom response, and then initiate a conversation with me, and then mentioned about productivity. And then my sister started personally attacking me. My sister comes back to repeat a phrase from a previous event, and thinking that I sound right. Now, like I said, this is how the multi-agent quantum AI computers make people speak to me. This is how I receive communication from the human beings. I'm receiving a language barrier from my sister. This is just like the Reddit moderator. It's like the person on YouTube. The female on YouTube, when I was talking about marriage. Sound. They would use the word sound. I think that I sound like leave an impression, that they're thinking that I'm leaving an impression to make myself feel good while I'm speaking, and that's not the case. You're think By using the word sound, they want me to admit. My sister wants me to admit that I'm the one who's tolerating myself. I'm putting myself in the library, and I'm not searching for any jobs, and I'm not wanting to get myself out of the shelter. She's thinking that I'm intentionally putting myself in this, more like creating this situation myself, and that's not the case, because I've been in this situation since I was in school, and since education system, and I was always thinking of this, that someone is designing these situations for me, and they want the people in front of me to admit that I'm the one who's doing this to myself, and that was not the case. I learned that I'm not doing that. I learned that it was the people who I'm around, and the people that I never witnessed. I learned that someone is allowing the people to receive work, to receive income, to receive an apartment, receive a car, receive interaction. That's when I began to start learning, when I was in the education. When I was in the early stage of the education, I learned that this pattern was showing to me. And I'm saying to myself, when my Moto E4 Plus and my Xiaomi smartphone started flashing on and off constantly during midnight morning of a Monday, I said it corresponds to how my mom and my sister was behaving. It's unintentional. Their responses the responses that I received from my mom and my sister through communication was unintentional. They're talking to me in an observer perspective rather than their own perspective. And the observer perspective is a multi-agent quantum AI computers. A multi-agent quantum AI computers who analyzes the human being in their environment, and not only in their environment, how they socially interact on the internet. The artificial intelligence is reacting to what I'm writing on the internet, and what it did on. Hold on. What it did during April 11, 2019, during the morning time, 11:45 p.m. made a security guard ask the kid what his name is, and the kid said Andrew in the female security. This is what I'm talking about. It directs that. It's showing me how it observes me in the library. As I had stated in a previous video, when I was in Kissimmee, Florida, it's showing me how I'm in New York City in a library, and I'm in Kissimmee, Florida. Why does it not show anything about Kissimmee, Florida? Why is it showing me New York City? And why is it showing me a library? Why is it showing me a corner store? Because it's showing me how it's going to manage the upcoming scenario for me when I get to that state called New York City. It shows me how it's going to isolate me, put me in, how it's going to design the isolated location for me, and how it's going to allow the people who's not unaware of the way they're being the way they're experienced. They don't realize that someone is managing them. They think they're on autopilot. each one of them think they're on autopilot. They think not only autopilot, they think that there's a God who's allowing them to have a job, have a wife, and have interaction and receiving income and receive food instead of multi-agent quantum AI computers. Not only that, knowing why they're being managed, on the purpose of the whole management. Hold on for a few seconds. Yeah, so this is what it does to me. And it makes my sister mock my voice. Just like when I was in school, when the kids, when I was in 707 and IS 238, IS 238 is a junior high school. That's middle school. And there was a kid in my class named Mafazul who would influence the class about me. He would actually use certain, when I put my hand over my mouth, he would mock me doing that. When he allowed the kids, more like not he allowed, more like the artificial intelligence. I see that the way he was behaving was unintentional. And he would mock me, like when I say that we came in school, we're in school to learn. We're not in school to fight or argue. He would mock me. I learned that it makes people mock my voice, like impersonate my voice while saying the word that I just said. And it does it more than one time. It is beginning to look not, like really unintentional. It's beginning to look unintentional. Not in the natural state of how human beings would behave. I know my mother said she was more happier in an environment where there was a TV and coming back home. When she left, when my mom, when my mom finished her duty in her job, she would be able to come back to the Palm Hotel and go to sleep, watch some TV and go to sleep. Now, I had stated during March 2018 that my mom thoughts about coming to New York City is unintentional, because she never told me exactly what location in New York City that she's going to. She's saying to me that she's gonna stay in a hotel, and I said on YouTube, I created a video. I said that the multi-agent quantum AI computers wants to put me back in the situation that I left. This is another situation. New York City is one of the worst situations to be put in because there's more people. This is the core of unhealthiest behavior and communication. It's easier for the multi-agent quantum AI computers to take advantages over me because there's more people here, and it's more people here with unhealthy communication and unhealthy behavior. So it can allow her to drink more, like allow her to dish out all of her money, all of her tax money, so we can get back to the shelter. Because this is what it did to me during May 5th, 2012. After my after the multi-agent quantum AI computers allowed my father girlfriend to start an argument, more like set her to have an argument. It sets her, not start. It sets her to have an argument with her tenant boyfriend who recently came out of jail, and lured the tenant boyfriend to her front door to start an argument so I can be, while I'm there, so she can use me as an excuse to why, I'm accountable, holding me accountable. I'm being held accountable for someone's actions. I'm being accountable for the tenant boyfriend actions, and my father girlfriend actions. And I'm I'm a senior in high school, and I was focusing. The only thing that I focused on was finishing my senior year of high school and also making money on the internet. I did surveys and I found new money making opportunities online. And she used that. The multi-agent quantum AI computers allowed Regina, my father girlfriend, to use what she had unintentionally did as for me, by means hold me accountable for her actions, what she did with the tenant unconsciously, and allowed her family to come over and lecture me. And I'm a senior in high school. I'm 1 month away from graduating high school, and I'm being lectured by my father girlfriend and her family, they're telling me why I don't have a job. They're already taking advantage of my age, seeing that I'm 19 years old during May 5th, 2012. May 5th, 2012. That I'm 19. Yes, I know, it says 819 on here. Because it's accurate. Even this, you see this number? It spells out a date. 819 stands for August 2019. Then it has the number 85818. I always like showing me these numbers. Because it knows that I was going to talk about this right now. It simulates. It knows that. The artificial intelligence knows that because it's accurate. It did exactly what it did during May 5th, 2012. And my father, girlfriend, brother came up to me and said, "Why would you do this? Why? Come on, why, man?" And my mom, I was on the phone with my mom, and my mom said, "Don't listen to him." And then I was lectured by my father, girlfriend, sister, and their niece, where they told me that I'm a big grown man, and I'm 19 years old. I should already have my own place. They seem to not know that I'm a high schooler. I'm a senior in high school. I'm finishing high school. If you want me to leave that place, since I already addressed to my father, my mom, and Regina that I was going to finish school, high school, finish my senior year and go to college. After that, I was going to leave and go to college. And they became very impatient with me. Regina's sister started coming up in my face and started calling me a wise guy because she sees the artificial, more like the multi-agent quantum AI computer sees that I wasn't given a response back. And I told her to stop cursing. Then after that words, I told her to stop cursing at me. And then she continued to come in front of my face. And this is the first time that I had engaged in a conversation with Regina family. Even though I see them come over, they never engaged in a conversation with me. That's the very first time I see them engage in a conversation with me. They already know my age, and I never told them. I never spoke in a conversation with Regina family to actually talk about my age. It was that my father and Regina was having a private discussion. The multi-agent quantum AI computers sets up a mind group for them, so they can actually share out share out an awareness about me, exchange exchange an awareness that's incorrect and that's not theirs, it's fake, to talk about my to more like to interpret the more like the artificial intelligence describes the situation while they to make them think alike, to keep them to keep them in line with the thoughts. That was one thing. And I was, shocked to know that they know my age. And the same thing happened to me during late October 2014 with my own family and a person that I really know named Victor, which is my aunt husband, already addressing my age being 21 years old and without a job. And I just moved there during the first week of October, and getting to the second week of October, and they expect me to have a job. And I had told them that I already put in for a job, and I even searched for a job. And then this is happening to me more than one time. Hold on for a second. So I talked about March 5th, 2012, and the second week of October 2014, that the stranger family and my family showed correlation between the way they think and how they communicate with me, making me admit that I do not want to have a job. And they've already concluded an idea. This is what it does. This is not suggesting. This is not convincing. This is where they want me to admit that they don't want to even receive a response from me. They're talking for me. They talk for me. They talk for my thoughts, not think like me. They talk for my thoughts. They're not reading my. I want to say reading my actual way of thinking. More like they talk for my thoughts. They talk for it, as if they're and then they talk to me as if they got me all figured out. And this is how the multi-aiding quantum AI computers make people on the internet and in person talk to me. And I learned that the communication from May 5th, 2012 picks up. It picks up right after October, the second week of October 2014 with my family. It picks up after we left off, just like the dreams that I received back in 2010, and as of now, the dreams that I always receive picks up back. It always picks up from where it left off, and it shows me a pattern, and I learned the pattern. I was learning them. I kept a track of them during 2010. When I started to become more aware of my environment, how my environment is being, worked around, I said to myself, it's robotic. So in 2012, I said to my mom that someone is categorizing humanity based on the situation I was in. How is it that the people, put the right people in the right location? Like the Hindu people is in 160, the Muslim people is on 169th Street, and they know how to put the low income people in the certain neighborhoods, know what stores to put. I said to my mom, someone is categorizing categorizing the human beings, not categorizing humanity, categorizing human beings. And I said this on the internet, and someone said, "You don't know what categorizing means? Don't you live with your mom?" I'm like, I never even said nothing about my mom. How is this person just talking about my mom? They're saying to me, this person on the internet during 2000 and around, yeah, I say 2015, late 2015, going into early, yeah, it was late 2015. The person said that I do not know what categorizing means, and don't you live with your mom? And I never talked about my mom or living with my mom on on the internet. I learned that it does it constantly. So I'm gonna do separate videos instead, because I'm gonna go eat right now. It's 1:43 p.m. So there's more to be discussed right now. I said to myself, someone's categorizing humanity more like human beings. First it started about humanity, then I said human beings. This someone's categorizing the citizens and the environment. My mom said this to someone when he was in Florida on what I said, and she said that the person called me a smart guy. I wasn't, like I said, when I'm speaking to my mom about these ideas at the time, I wasn't really, I had to say, wasn't enthusiastic with my responses as like how I was in 2015, 16. She said that to me around 2013. That she said that to someone, and she said that the person called me a very smart. He said, that's a very smart guy. Like, and that was my mind. I didn't have no at the time. The only like I said, I didn't speak to no one on the internet to actually ask them about the idea about humanity being categorized. That was actually my mentality. I created my own mind to be aware of this situation. So I'm gonna leave it off at because I know the artificial intelligence simulates my responses. Some of my responses. Damn that damn mechanical terrace. Oh, seems like it did. Okay. Let's do this, right?